lets it off and away they go.
Extremely loose. He's managed to hold on. I think he missed the complete that. He's crazy stuff.
Side Freitas is on the grass on the infield before. He slides through. He tags Richard Eck.
Good evening, sim racing fans, and welcome to the Global Sim Racing channel, where tonight it is round 9 of 11 in the 2015 B Championship for the Bootleg Racing League's Outlaw Modified Series from South Boston, Virginia, and the virtual South Boston Speedway for the BRL Sobo 75. We're glad that you're joining us once again on GSRC for none other than a short track Saturday night, and tonight, under the lights, we are for you do want to welcome you into the GSRC broadcast booth alongside Sean Ambrose. My name is Evan Posoko. Down in the production hall, our director on the evening is Joe Peakett. As always, our camera sets are provided by Dougie Beard. Sean, Sobo tonight, one of the most popular tracks on the sim when it comes to short track racing, and with only 2 races to go after tonight, it's starting to become now or never for a lot of these drivers, but for 3 of them at the top of the pile, they're so close to the number 1 spot, but not very far from each other. The end of this season's getting set up to be quite an interesting one.
Well, that's right. Nuss, Moore, and Hoos are fighting for the championship. Ryan Nuss right now in the lead with 67 points. Moore and Hoos tied in second with 66 points. 10 points will go to the winner tonight. All 3 of them are here. Everybody else is chasing and would need something really bad to happen for those 3 to be able to get back into this point chase tonight. But yeah, this is going to be an exciting race tonight. This is a finesse track. You've really got to finesse the car. We're going to see a lot different racing tonight than we did last week at Bristol, Evan.
And it's interesting how they stack up right now on the warm-up charts. Just about 5 minutes left there, a 30-minute warm-up session, and then the grid obviously determined, as it has been all year, from our results from 1 week ago at Bristol. Before we get to those results, kind of interesting how this all turns out, because you got Ryan Nuss atop the points. Out of those 3 drivers that are really in that bottleneck, he's the lowest of them all right now in 6th position. Matt Hoos, the driver that's 3rd overall out of all of them, he was just at the top of all of them. And then Donnie Moore just put down a time that jumps him up a little bit to P2 with a 14.5. But Ronald Henry right now, the fastest driver on the night. Ronald back off of a suspension a little bit earlier on in the season, back on track. All drivers eligible tonight. Looks like so far 13 out of 13 drivers in the sim have put down a time to qualifying session, and it is that number 75 at the top of the pile. Let's talk about Bristol, though. 1 week ago, Sean, going into Thunder Valley, it was a quick one, but as well provided, as always, the usual excitement.
It really did. It was defined, though, unfortunately, by one wreck that happened really early, that caution flag that came out early into the race. I believe it was about 5 laps in. Took out a lot of really good cars and got them shuffled back, and the front really ran away with it as they went on a really long green flag run. And then there was only one more caution before the race ended, and it was a really fast race as we got it in just a little over, I think it was about 21 minutes. Really great racing at the front, but our winner last week, Ryan Nuss, really just was the class of the field as he led most of the laps all night, and really once he got that car out into the clean air, he just ran away with it. And with Nuss sitting there in the championship lead tonight, if he can show the finesse that it's going to take to win this race, he could really make some ground with only 2 laps left on the rest of the field.
And because of where these guys finished, it's going to dictate where they start tonight. Unfortunately for Matt Hoos, since he did not get a top 8, he'll be outside of the top 8 tonight. But for Ryan Nuss, he'll be P8, depending on if all of the top 8 from last week hop in here and race. And then Donnie Moore, who finished 3rd, he'll be starting up in 6th, again, assuming that we have the equal number of drivers. So there's going to be a whole lot of different storylines for a lot of these guys, but the common denominator is none of them are starting up front, which means they're going to have to try to get through traffic. This Sobo Speedway, as I said earlier, it's one of the most popular ones on the sim. Can guarantee you at most times, if you hop onto the hosted session, somebody's racing some sort of vehicle, whether it be a street stock or these modifieds, anything at this South Boston Speedway. Always a very exciting one, and these guys are liking to cheat that yellow line down in 3 and 4. They're really trying to get whatever they can out of it. You look at the track map, 12 degrees of bankings, and this track is just 0.4 miles or 2/5 of a mile around per lap. It's a iconic one in both in the real world with the NASCAR Whale at Old American Series, but as well on the sim. And we're just about 2 minutes away from doing battle, and again, we are so close to the end of this season. Something that, we really need to talk about. It's in that middle portion of the season, Sean, when we were early on, and the way that the points work in this series is really a big contributing factor in the way that this championship picture has evolved throughout the year. But we had guys swapping out the top spot early on, and maybe in the last 2 weeks, we started to see point gaps of 4 or 5 points. Doesn't seem like a lot, but really, when you're getting about 3 points, 3 positions get 9 points, the next 3 get 8, there's not a whole lot of difference there. It was huge. All of a sudden, a wicked race at Bristol. We're right back where we were, essentially, after the first few races, where that guy atop the championship standing changed almost every week. That could very well be the case when we go into these final few races. After tonight, we got quite the lineup as well. We're going to go to Lanier and then New Smyrna later on in the month to close it out. So, there's no slowing down for this series. But you got to love it. It's a short track Saturday night. And when you make it under the lights just a little bit more, and we're getting set to do battle for 75 laps.
Yeah, and you talk about that championship chase, and really this league, it really pays your average finish. When we looked at the championship standings earlier, your average finish in this league really means so much. The top 3, Nuss, Moore, and Hoos, they all have an average finish. Nuss with sixth place, 5th place for Donnie Moore, 7th place for Hoos. Really, everybody behind them is, Kenny Morris down there in 5th. His average finish is 11th, and everybody else like 8th place and back. So you can see where the average finish here in this series makes such a big difference when you're awarding 10 points to a winner and then only, just a point less, 9 points to 2nd through 5th. You can start to understand how critical getting to these races and showing up every week is, what it means to winning a championship.
A new face you're going to see in the series, currently scored right now P12 on the board as we get set to turn things over and go through our starting grid. The driver, the number 57, Lucas Denziano, coming over, part of the Hispano America Club on the sim. The first driver in the series from Argentina. Going to be making his first start on the evening, and because of that, he's going to be at the back of the pack. We'll now run you through the Global Sim Racing Channel starting grid for tonight's Sobo 75, and on pole position is going to be the number 19 of Philip Temples. He'll start atop the board, started alongside in second, outside on the front row, the number 8 machine, that's Ernest Brown.
Yes, and in the second row, we got Matt Shinotsky, series regular, and a number 35, starting 3rd. Outside of him, and a number 26, series regular, Donnie Moore, in 4th place, 7.
P5 going to go to the number 76, Good Time Ice entry of Brad Speidel. Outside on him, P6 to the number 13, one of those drivers in that championship mix. It's Ryan Nuss.
Lowell Jewell in the Edge Auto Concepts, number 55, sitting there in 7th, Matt Hoos. Number 21, starting in 8th, Evan.
Brian Neff's Winn-Dixie entry is going to be scheduled to start this race P9 and P10, rounding out the top 10. That's going to be outside row 5 to number 41 of Tim Knott.
And in 11th, Kenny Morris in the 05. Ronald Henry back there in 12th. Be there in 7th in number 75. And Lucas Denziano in 13th in a number 57.
So 13 drivers going to make up the field tonight. Final pace lap going to be in the works this time by as the lights go out on top of the iRacing.com Ford First Racing Mustang pace car. We get set to do battle 75 laps, and it'll equate to 30 miles from checker all the way from the green flag, and we get ready to go. After this, only 2 racers remain, 3 drivers atop the points, separated by just 1 apiece, and well, they're all starting about mid-pack. It should be a fun one. We're glad to have you with us on GSRC. The pace car is down and away. Philip Temples on the accelerator at a quarter number 4. Green flag down to 1 for the first time, and 19 car with the advantage. Looks like the first 3 cars playing nice. It's side by side for 4th on back. Donnie Moore going to get a spot over Brad Speidel.
Everybody playing nice so far, Evan. Looking pretty good back here. Everybody just getting in line and giving a lot of... Lowell Jewell into the wall. The yellow is not out. The green flag, Lowell Jewell got spun around and into the wall. He's got heavy damage trying to get that car to the pit lane right now, Evan.
And it looked like the replay going up now. The 13 in front of him, Ryan Nuss, needing to get in line before he goes back. You'll see the 13 kind of try to sneak in line, and with these open wheel race cars, the right front just kind of climbs up on the left rear of that 13, sends Lowell Jewell head on into the outside wall. And he did spin it around. He kind of came down the racetrack, collected Tim Knott. Both of those cars with minor damage, really. Lowell getting the worst end of that. No caution flag, though. We do stay green as that number 55 machine is forced down to the pit lane. Heavy, heavy damage, all things considered, on the Edge Auto Concepts entry of Lowell Jewell. Meanwhile, still clean and green, and Philip Temples up at the front of the field trying to get a little bit of a gap. He was 4th fastest in practice, gets the top spot from his result 1 week ago, and he's about half a second to the good right now over Ernest Brown, second on back.
Such a tough break for Lowell Jewell there, and really sad to see him out so early. He's going to be several laps down, and now I'm hearing something wrong with Kenny Morris. I think he's brought that machine to pit road. He has. Kenny Morris has brought his machine in.
And unfortunately, it wasn't a voluntary thing. You'll take a look at the replay right there, side by side with the 41, contact, and he ended up into the barrels at the end of the pit lane and went up and over the pit road wall, back onto all fours after he got clipped by Lucas Stinziano. So not only damage on that 57 for being involved, not only damage on the 05 of Kenny Morris, but for the second time tonight, John, Tim Knott's Texas Club machine has been the innocent victim in 2 wrecks now so far. It's got him back in P10 right now. Last car on the lead lap as Morris, Stenziano, and then Lowell Jewell, the 3 machines that have had trouble tonight, they've all fallen at least 2 laps down.
Yeah, and Philip Temples is really working hard and just opening it up on the rest of the field right now. Ernest Brown almost a full second behind him, and he's battling with Shinosky and Donnie Moore right now. Donnie Moore looking pretty strong, but got to somehow find his way around Ernest Brown if he's got any chance of trying to get to Philip Temples right now.
Big name you want to look at, Ronald Henry, because of his lack of result 1 week ago. Although he was the fastest machine in practice with that 14.521, that number 75 machine significantly back in the pack. He should be, as you think, if you look at the numbers moving forward so far, he's gained 5 spots, but not really catching up all that much on Matt Hoos. A little bit of a gap till he gets back up to what we'll call that primary pack of race cars, but one thing that is not changing, the lead. If anything, it only continues to get further and further away. You got to look at Matt Shinosky as well. That one of these other drivers that has run strong, has not had the results in recent weeks. He needs something big if he wants to get it back into this championship, and really 8 points down with 3 races to go. It wouldn't sound like a lot, Sean, but if everybody else can just get, top 6, 7th place finishes, he's not going to be able to make up 8 points. So not only does Matt need to get good runs for his number 35 MAV TV American Real Machine to get up there in the points, but he also has to rely on some of these other drivers that have some trouble if he wants any shot at it.
Yeah, I just noticed Tim Knott was just put a lap down by our leader, Philip Temples. The rest of the pack is coming, and it looks like Tim is just going to stay out of the way, stay up there on the high side of the track, and let everybody fight down low. Good move there by Tim. He knew he had had to suffer a little bit there, and he'll get back in this thing. He's still got a good finish in front of him and just stay in this race.
Survival of the fittest, and again, he got hit after it was Lowell Jewell into the outside wall. Jewell's number 55 machine came down the track into the 41, and then an incident with Kenny Morris and Lucas Tenziano. He again got collected as a third-party victim in it, and you can kind of see the damage that Lone Star State machine up on the outside lane is having. All the lead lappers, meanwhile, though, going down through the bottom. You take a look at Matt Hoos trying to make a move. Side by side goes that 21 to the inside of the 76 of Brad Spidle. That one going to be a fight for P5, and when you're working around the lap guy down low, the bottom is the place to be. That's going to give that spot to the 21. And now here comes Ronald Henry, the other Lone Star Club Texas entry. He goes to the bottom. He's got more friends with him. Brian Neff as well, trying to get the job done. And Brad Spidle dropping 2, now maybe 3 spots in a handful of laps.
Yeah, and I think Spidle got just a piece of the fence, a little bit there, got a little wide coming out of one of the turns there, and it might have scuffed off a little bit of speed there. But yeah, he did lose 2 positions there, and you know, Donnie Moore, the real winner there, he gets to Ernest Brown, and, you know, the fight is on now. And I'm sorry, he's now trying to get to Shinosky. But that battle for those 3 positions right there is really heating up. Already 22, almost 23 laps into this race here, Evan.
Kenny Morris is back on a racetrack. That 05 machine started 11th. He is last place on the racetrack right now, 6 laps down in 13th. 13 machine into the outside wall. Ryan Nuss, trouble for one of the championship contending race cars. He leads it into tonight, and he's spun it out in quarter 4. Comes to a complete stop, and caution flag is out. You saw the contact. It's right there live on the GSRC replay cam. Caught that because we were talking about how Kenny Morris was going to the inside on him. Looked like Nuss was trying to get around him, Sean. Caught the outside wall, spun it out, and now your championship leader is trapped 1 lap in the negative.
Yeah, that initial hit into the wall wasn't the one that did it. It was that second one that just really kind of popped the rear end loose and shot him back across the track. Just couldn't get out of the racing groove quick enough, and that's what brought that yellow flag out. Unfortunate break there for Ryan Nuss. Goes from our leader to possibly giving up that spot, depending on how Moore or Hoos can do at this point. Moore up there in in 4th place right now, and Hoos right behind him. So, yeah, things could change before this night is over, Evan.
And for the 13's sake, he hopes that it does, because he'll go from not having all that great of a race car, which is not good news when all you got is a 1-point gap, which in any kind of series, but this one as well, 1 point, not going to be a whole lot of safety. He'll come to the pit lane. He'll follow Tim Nodden, so both of the machines, 1 lap and a negative, are going to come down to the pit lane. They are going to take on fuel only, not allowed to change tires, back out on the racetrack, and I'm sure the 13 will take any damage repairs if even, that team has a possibility to. Doesn't look like it, though. Pops back out of the pit lane. Not a whole lot of time you can sit around on pit road here either to get some damage fixed, considering it's only about a 34-second pace lap, and, you're going slower than that 50-mile-an-hour pace speed down on the pit lane, not to mention service. So he's back out. He'll stay 1 lap down. We do have 8 drivers on the lead lap. Philip Temples leads all the way back to Brad Spidle's number 76, but you take a look at Philip Temple, somebody who was P4 in practice, and it varies race to race, Sean, because all these racetracks, they might look like they're the same shape, but they all have different characteristics. Sometimes we have races where, because of that top 8 inversions, the guys that finished 8th the week before, they're no better than an 8th place car. They drop back very quickly. Other nights, and like tonight, Philip Temples with a finish a little bit trailer back there from Bristol, might slide back. Tonight, not the case, looking very strong up front.
Yeah, Philip Temple's looking really, really strong. He was really enjoying the clean air. Really was able to get past the lap cars pretty easily. Man, I'll tell you what, we got off to a great start in this race. That was a really nice run, and this single file restart, it's going to be really up to Philip Temple's. It's going to be up to him to get that nice jump he needs to get back into the clean air and just separate himself from Ernest Brown and Shinosky there, because they've got their own little battle to deal with. And here we go, the pace car is off.
And single file restart, back to green flag, down to quarter 1, lap 29, now in the works, and Philip Temples, control car, the Jack Daniels, number 19 machine, no problem, getting out to a little bit of a gap No problem either. Ernest Brown singled out. Matt Chudowski, Donnie Moore, Matt Hoos, Ronald Henry, Brian Neff, and everybody else on the lead lap, minding their P's and Q's, much like they did for the most part until Lowell Jewell made contact with that 13 on the drop of the first American Ethanol green flag of the night for the start of the race. No trouble, and right now, this has actually spread things out quite nicely and evenly. Good news for the 19 if he can continue to pull on that 8 machine at the rate that he did last time by, but so far it is Philip Temples who started up top, who's been the fastest all night long. He continues to lead, looks like about 4 car lengths.
Yeah, and Lowell Jewell off pace there for just a second. He pulled that car back down inside. I think he had a little trouble with the handling and let everybody else get by. He's back under power now, though.
Tim Knott, the number 41 machine, after being the first car 1 lap down, is able to get the wave by, so that 41 machine goes from being 1 lap in the rears to the last car on the lead lap, scored in 9th position. That puts Ryan Nuss, championship leader, into tonight. If we were talking about points as they run, that would no longer be the case. The 13 really needs a caution flag at some point in this race, and he has scored P10 right now, running lap times that are only about 1/10 of a second off the leader, so not all that bad, but not necessarily on pace with the top 5. The top 5 really now starting to close in on each other. They were nice and spread out, about 2-3 car lengths apiece. Second all the way through 6th position right now. That's about 4 or 5 cars just in about 9/10 of a second of each other. A real estate, this a very close battle for second all the way through 7th.
Well, and Moore is working over Shinosky, and right behind him you've got Ronald Henry working over Matt Hoos, and it's those 4 cars is right there. Donnie Moore almost gets into the back of Shinosky there. It is a really tight battle trying to get that car inside of Shinosky. Can't quite pull it off as they come out of the turn there, and he's still just working him over. And watch out, right behind the 21, Matt Hoos, all over the bumper of Shinosky. I'm sorry, all over the bumper of Donnie Moore. Just a real battle going on down there in the pit.
Donnie Moore tried to get to the inside on Matt Shinosky, thought he had an opening, got down low, thought better of it, and because of that checkup, it almost opened the door wide open for the 21 of Matt Hoos. Matt's got that number 75 right behind him also of Ronald Henry. So these guys are kind of at a spot of you either go on the attack or somebody's going to go on the attack on you. So the best defense in this case is a strong offense. You got to keep trying to move forward. If you're comfortable with sitting in line, you're going to get past. Somebody's going to throw it to your inside, and you see that. First the battle was for second. Now it's for third, fourth, fifth, because once one guy checks up, can't make a move, that next guy gets to his bumper. So far, not a lot of chrome horn yet tonight. Past the halfway point now, but on the downhill side of things, this lap 40 is now in the books, and 35 laps remain. 34 this next time by the start-finish line. But I'll tell you what, you take a look at Ernest Brown, Matt Chudowski, Donnie Moore, all over each other. Moore all the way to the inside wall. He'll make the spot. Can he get it to work?
Can he do it? Can he do it? He's down there, and he's pulling out in front. What a move. Donnie Moore really hooked up right now.
And I'll tell you, that inside wall is not all that far away. And I said they were cheating the yellow line in 3 and 4. I wouldn't suggest doing it in 1, but that's exactly what that number 26 did. Left side of the race car on the concrete retaining wall, held onto the spot, didn't push up. Good driving as well by the MAV TV American Real 35 of Matt Shinosky to recognize that that number 26 was there. And now Shinosky going to get down in line. Look at the 21, Matt Hoos, all the way to the apron, trying to make something work. He wants 4th now from the 35.
Yeah, Matt Hoos really liking it down there on the flat side. He has been working that area below the yellow line for about 30 laps right now. He loves it down there. He's getting a great run out of the turns coming off the flat, and they better watch out. Oh, Shinosky right on the bumper of Donnie Moore there. Donnie's got to watch out. I know he's trying to get to Ernest Brown, but he's got to watch out because Shinosky wants that position back, Kevin.
And as they continue to do battle for second, again, as we said, all the way through 7th, even toss 8th position into there, everybody but your race leader and the last car on the lead lap are part of this big single file fight. That is great news for Philip Temples. The number 19 Jack Daniels machine, 2.2 seconds to the good and pulling away. And now Ernest Brown under attack. He gets forced up to the high side. Another strong move from Donnie Moore. The Irwin Tools machine to the inside, sideways off the corner. He'll get the position, and he'll try to make the move down in 2. He gets clear. No, fighting back is the 8 machine Great run, though. Donnie Moore put the pressure on him. He finally gets it in 3 and 4. This could be very bad news, though, for Ernest Brown, stuck up high with a big line of cars coming at him.
Man, we are seeing a classic unfold here tonight. This is some racing, brother. I'm telling you,
contact!
they're into each other. Temples and Shinosky into each other. The yellow's not out.
And that put Ernest Brown up into the fence. The 8 machine, who just lost second spot, they made contact after it was Shinosky up the hill just the slightest bit. The 8 machine, right side tires, climbs the outside fence in 3 and 4. Then Shinosky made contact with Ronald Henry. No caution, but yet again, big loser, and that is the innocent victim at the end of it all. Ernest Brown down to the pit lane. He'll fall off of going from second spot to a lap down in 9th position just like that. His night may not be done. He may be able to get it back out on the racetrack, but not in a competitive form. Tough break for that 8 machine, who was really on a good run tonight.
Yeah, he was, and I got all excited there and all wrapped up in what was going on. And yes, it was the very unfortunate Ernest Brown, not Philip Temples, who continues to run away with this race right now. But Donnie Moore and Matt Hoos still fighting. Tough break.
Shinosky's into the fence now. Trouble 35. Caution. Flag is out at South Boston with 21 laps to go. Just caught that one out of the corner of my eye. Trouble for the number 35. He was P6 and in a fight with Brad Speidel, but that car just got loose on him, stepped around. You saw the replay, and just like that shot after we broke him up a little bit after that contact, we're going to group him right back up and have a restart inside of 20 laps to go. And that 2.8 second gap that Philip Temples had over Donnie Moore going to go back down to pretty much nothing but a car length by the time you get back to the restart. But the good news for the 19 is, so far, I don't think anybody's shown speed anywhere near that, but again, the chrome horn always an option if you get late in the race. We'll have to see, but Temples definitely would have much rather gone all the way through this race without the yellow flag. He'll have to go through one more American Ethanol restart. Not quite done on the night. 8 cars on the lead lap. This is great news for Ryan Nusshawn because he gets back to the lead lap and can try to make up for some points lost here in the earlier portions of this race and try to salvage what he can out of the night and hopefully still be in a good spot at the end of the night because the 2 drivers that he sits just 1 point ahead of are 2nd and 3rd and set to get about 3 more points than him if they were to finish where they sit right now.
Yeah, and you know what? He's got a chance here. He's going to have about 17 laps to get something done if he plays it just right. But I got to be honest with you, Donnie Moore has looked really, really strong. We saw him pull off a couple of power moves there on that last run. Philip Temples better be watching because I don't think Donnie Moore is playing around tonight. He's looking to get this win and go to the lead of the season standings right now.
And you gotta be careful because we have seen a couple times this year we get late in a race, Sean, and we always say the chrome horn. Well, if it's gonna come out on a short track Saturday night, full moon, an unlucky 13 number of cars, it's gonna be late in the race. You can't move somebody out of the way completely because there are penalties that are assessed, and if you're a Donnie Moore or Matt Hoos, as much as you want 10 points out of tonight instead of 9, you can't miss one of these next 2 races either, so they got to strike a balance here.
Yeah, I hope everybody has their schedule free for the next couple of weeks because this is going to be a nail-biter. This restart is going to be critical for not only Philip Temples, but for Donnie Moore. Can he get the jump? Can he stick with Temples? Can he pull it off? He's going to have about 17, 18 laps to get it done. I like how Donnie Moore's looked, Evan. I think he can do this.
Philip Temples has been so strong on the restarts. Do the 26 or 21 have anything for him? Pace car down and away. Another great start for the number 19 machine. It's 3 car lengths down to quarter 1. No problems inside of the top 3 getting single filed out. There's no difference in points between 2nd and 3rd, which is where Donnie Moore and Matt Hoos sit right now. Don't tell them that because still they're going to want to get one spot up on each other considering how close this championship is, but they are not letting that 19 get away.
Not yet. Philip Temples is he's not pulling away yet. Right now, Donnie Moore doing a good job. Matt Hoos still working over that apron right there and just getting that grip down low. And everybody behind him still just staying close there. Ronald Henry in the picture. Brian Neff in the picture. This is going to be a battle to the bitter end, Evan.
Matt Hoos continues to put half, 3/4 of that car down below the yellow line, but I think Donnie Moore may have given up just a little bit too much the last time around in 2. You can tell how hard he's driving that. You can see how hard 3rd through 5th are driving it as they go all the way below that yellow line and cut that pit lane entry wall very, very close down in quarter number 4. They're still fighting for a spot, but I think Donnie Moore, driving it so hard as he was, just drove it into 1 and 2 a little bit too much in 1 and 2 about 3 laps ago, and it allowed the 19 to really pull on exit, get to 3/10, and it has not gone down since. And as it looks right now, even if you throw it into the quarter and dive bomb him, 3/10 of a second is nearly impossible to get here. So at this point, maybe Philip Temples' race to lose, but Donnie Moore one more time making another late race push. Going to be 9 laps to go this time by.
Man, this is just one of the best races we've seen from these guys all season, Evan. This top 6 here has just been so strong, really fighting hard. I think anybody can finish in those top 3 spots right now. It's just a matter of someone being able to stick it in there and make it work right now. Brian Neff really working on it. Oh, and Neff is around as I'm talking about it. Right before the start-finish line, Neff is around into the inside wall, and the yellow flag is not out, and it's out now, Evan. There it is.
Caution flies, and this is probably going to set us up for a late race restart, but trouble for Brian Neff. And when you said Neff, I almost thought you said Nuss there, and that would have been terrible luck for the 13. Brian Nuss going to get the benefit of this after trouble strikes that machine that turned around there. The 60 machine gets into the inside of retaining wall. That was not the caution. What I think happened there, because contact happens back down in quarter 1, it's the 75 of Ronald Henry. Fastest car in practice, Sean, that's going to be the yellow. I think that 21 machine right behind him, Matt Hoos may have just been checking out the wreck in his rearview mirror because the 21 pushed up a little bit. You'll see the replay here that they're going to have the trouble out of 4 behind him, and then in the 1, Hoos just gets up the hill a little bit. He gets into Ronald Henry as they wreck behind him. You'll see the contact right there. Turns the 75 around. 75 spins it back up the racetrack. That is what triggers the caution flag. And with 5 laps to go, it'll be this time by. Currently working 6 to go. I think we'll get one more late race restart, and I'll give Donnie Moore just one more shot at her.
Well, Neff manages to keep it on the lead lap. He went in, got his quick repair, and he's back out. But, man, that was an inopportune time for that to happen. Bad break there for Neff. Looks like he might have just got back to the pedal a little bit too hard, and that car went around, and he hit that inside retaining wall pretty hard, so he did have to come in. Didn't even see the other accident. I'm glad you caught it there, Evan. I was glued on Neff. Almost feel like I gave the poor guy the commentator's curse on that one.
And as we reset all things, it is going to be Brian Neff who's able to stay on the lead lap, gets down and gets that machine fixed in a good amount of time. He was kind of lucky on how that all stays because he's able to maintain lead lap status. But Ryan Nuss, a huge beneficiary in all of this because the 13 bumps up to 7th. Donnie Moore and Matt Hoos are still 2nd and 3rd. And I think Nuss may be in the final spot that gets 8 points in this. And I think Moore and Hoos are in a 9-point spot. So I think if they were to finish where they sit right now, we'd be a 3-way tie with 2 races to go. We'll have the official update on the points before we step away tonight and be able to get that information to you heading into the final 2 races on the year. But you thought it could have get you closer into tonight? It might be a little bit closer exiting. Lights go back off on top of the pace car. Green, white checker, 1 shot at it. Caution ends this race. Philip Temple's in control. Pace car down and away. Green flag off of the corner, and not the best restart for Donnie Moore. He's got Matt Hoos all over him for 2nd.
Yeah, but he manages to pull away. Donnie Moore manages to get away from Hoos, making a run on Temples right now. Can he do it?
White flag in the air. This race going to be official. We're racing back to the checkered flag. 2/10 between the top 3, and it is one final push. Donnie Moore's Irwin Tools number 26. Hard into quarter number 3. It's not going to be enough. Philip Temple starts on pole. He'll get the checkered flag in the Sobo 75. Donnie Moore and Matt Hoos enter back-to-back in the championship standings, 2nd and 3rd. They will finish exactly as so, 2nd and 3rd on the racetrack. And Ryan Nuss bumps up to P7 at the end of it all. may very well be a three-way tie, if not just a point or so, separating these guys with 2 races to go. But what a race for Philip Temples. P4 in qualifying. Maybe he was honeypotting some of these guys, Sean, because there were some times faster than him, but when it came to race trim, nobody even had a shot at it. And if we didn't have those late race yellows, it would have been a couple of seconds between P1 and P2. Those yellows made it interesting. Donnie Moore gave it everything he had, and kudos to Matt Hoos for not running that 26 over after he gave it everything he had down to quarter number 3. But a great win for Philip Temples as he does the Polish victory lap backwards here at Sobo. Great run for that team.
Yeah, Philip Temple's doing that Polish victory lap right now. Goes wire to wire in this race. Great run for Temples tonight. We've seen him be fast this season. He's got a race, a win under his belt. This will be his 2nd win this season. He does have an average start of 6 and an average finish of 8 tonight. He's going to improve on that average and get himself into the hunt here with this win. With 2 races left, anything could happen. Somebody may not make it. You never know. Philip Temples keeps this momentum up going into these last 2 races. You never know where he could wind up. Maybe with a championship in his hands. We'll see, Evan.
Well, Donnie Moore, Matt Hoos did everything they could to get something on Ryan Nuss. Both of them going to finish 4 and 5 spots in front of your championship leader into tonight. And with 2 races to go, buckle up because we are far from over in determining the winner in this 2015 B Championship for the Bootleg Racing League Outlaw Modified Series. However, round 9 of 11 is in the books. The Sobo 75 in the direction of the 19 of Philip Temples. Your pole sitter goes flag to flag, and the statistics may have made it look like a domination it was, but he had the work to hang on to it late. We'll step away one time here, come back to South Boston, Virginia for the post-race show and post-race interviews and to get you set for the final 2 events on this 2015 B-Series campaign. Stay tuned. You'll want to stick around. We go down trackside in just a couple of moments. Back live on the Global Sim Racing channel at the virtual South Boston Speedway in South Boston, Virginia for race 9 of 11 in the 2015 B Championship with the Bootleg Racing League's Outlaw Modified Series is in the books. You just saw a thrilling finish to the Sobo 75, and as we get set to talk to some of our top finishers, we'll run you down through the GSRC finishing results. It is Philip Temples going flag to flag out of Florida, taking home the checkered flag. Donnie Moore was second, Matt Hoos with third. The points are going to be very exciting with 2 races to go. We'll get those numbers to you in just a couple of moments, but continuing on through the results here. 4th place to Brad Speidel, and Tim Dodd, after getting banged up 2 times in the first 10 laps, great salvage for that team. They get a top 5 out of it.
Shinosky comes home 6th. Ryan Nuss in 7th. Man, Nuss had a tough night. Brian Neff comes home in 8th. Ronald Henry, tough night for Henry, too. He looked like he had a chance early. It was first in practice, but comes home in 9th tonight. And in 10th place, Lucas Stinziano, new to the league, manages to come home 10th, 3 laps down, rounding out the field, caught up early in some trouble. Lowell Jewell comes home in 11th. Kenny Morris in 12th, and 24 laps down, Ernest Brown. Tough break for him there, and that wreck in the next to last caution there.
We have 9 cars on the lead lap, but we talked about how some things you can't script, how close it all is, and it was Matt Hoos who comes home 3rd tonight. We've caught up with the driver of the 21 down in his pit stall. He finished 3rd tonight. He entered tonight 3rd in the points, and may have made it just a little bit more exciting with 2 races to go with that result, Matt. First off, congratulations. Another podium finish for you guys on the year. Started back at 8th position with the field inversion and the I rating determining everybody else from there on out for those drivers that weren't here maybe from Bristol and so on and so forth. You come home 3rd tonight. You picked up 5 spots to do it, but you were sitting in that P3 for quite some time in the latter stages of the race. What was the key to getting those positions made up early on? And then talk us through that fight there with Donnie Moore throughout it, and a couple of interesting late race restarts as well, coming down to the checker in this one.
Yeah, it was definitely an interesting race, is the word you used, but it's a tough track to pass on. You really got to get people on exit, so you got to kind of just roll the corner a little bit, time it on exit, stick the bumper underneath there, let them know you're there. But running with Donnie, we've raced together a lot. I knew it was going to be a battle between us two. And it was, and about the deal there with Ron, I had apologized to him. Not sure whose fault that was, but it's just a small track and tight, and that's going to happen there. So, but all in all, a decent week. We needed one after the last couple weeks we had. The last 2 weeks have just been disastrous. So we needed to come out of here with a podium finish today, and I was just looking at the points, and that brought us back to a 3-way tie for the lead now between Ryan, Donnie, and myself.
So that was the standings that I predicted, so I feel a little bit more confident in my math skills that I got that one right. That is exciting for us. Maybe not for you. Maybe you would have preferred to maybe get a point up on these guys going forward, but you made ground tonight with that podium finish. You said that's what you guys needed. You executed and got the job done. So there's 3 of you. And we've seen that with P1 and P2, that's only separated by 1 point. This thing can go all the way through, a couple of points between you. If not, you guys could stay tied mathematically with 3 spots being able to get the same amount of points the way the points work in this series all the way through. So you got what you needed tonight. It was a rebound, but now you guys need to continue to execute. There are 2 races to go. We're going to be going to Lanier National Speedway and the new Smyrna Speedway. Is this 21 machine strong enough at both of those racetracks to take home the title?
I feel good at Lanier. I've always liked Lanier. It's been one of my better tracks. Tonight was not a good track for me, so I'm glad that's come out of here. I was just hoping for a top 5, so that's good. But New Smyrna, I'm going to have to return some practices and try to figure out a little something there because I seem to lack there. So I definitely can't take these last 2 races too lightly against the group of guys we have here.
And no off weeks either. So next Saturday night we're going to be in Lanier, and then next Saturday night following that we're going to be in New Smyrna. So nonstop all the way through to the rest of the year. But you guys set a goal for yourself tonight. That was a podium. You did it, and you guys know the expectations now if you want to be able to get that championship with 2 races to go. It was a strong run for you in that 21 machine, moving up through the field to get that podium spot, Matt. Congratulations once again, and we wish you the best of luck going forward in this championship hunt. Any sponsors or shout-outs you want to thank while we got you down here?
Oh, I'm just glad we could bring back an old paint scheme we used to run, and for good luck tonight, and it worked out. The Jag sponsorship was giving us a little bit of bad mojo, so we had to pull out the TA for tonight, and I think we may stick with that for the rest of the season.
Well, you guys got the job done tonight. A P3 for your number 21 machine, Matt. Again, thanks for taking a moment to talk to us. Best of luck, and hopefully we'll talk to you on the podium, if not in Victory Lane next week. Good luck in this championship with 2 to go.
Hey, thanks a lot, guys, and hope to see you next week.
That is your 3rd place finisher tonight, and part of a 3-way tie now officially in the Bootleg Racing League Outlaw Modified Series Championship standings with 2 races to go. The second driver in that fight comes home second tonight. Sean Ambrose, you've caught up in the pit lane with the driver of the number 26 Irwin Tools entry. Donnie Moore comes home P2 tonight, and he as well bumps up to the top of the board in the points.
The pride of New England, Donnie Moore, in with us tonight here in the booth. Donnie, congratulations. Get yourself on the podium and manage to get yourself to the top of the championship standings, tied 3 ways. How's it sound?
That sounds okay to me. Yeah. Geez, another second place, huh? These days I'm going to win one. But anyway, I'll take it tonight. Geez, that was a good race. I told you it was going to be an exciting race here at South Boston last week. Yeah,
you know what? It really was an exciting race. This is would you consider this a finesse track, Donnie?
Geez, I think so. Yeah, you definitely got to drive the car around here, man. Boy, you can't race like this, though, without the, it takes 2, and shout out to Shinosky and Ernest Brown there, and Matt Hoos. In good win to Phillip there. He was dominant car. No one's going to catch him. Last couple of yellows, I just concentrated on keeping Matt Hoos behind me instead of trying to catch Phillip.
Yeah, well, you managed to pull it off. I really thought you had a chance to get to Phillip there, man. You, in the middle of the run, you pulled off a couple of power moves down there to the inside, and I really thought you were going to be able to get to Phillip and maybe pull off one last power move. But hey, settle for that second, man, and enjoy your spot there at the top with 2 races left to go. We're going to head down a little bit further south there to Lanier next week. And, what do you think about your chances at Lanier, buddy?
Yeah, I like Lanier a lot. I like to race there, so we could be going to worse track. So, yeah, I'm excited about going over there. And good luck to everybody in the last 2 races. It's exciting.
Well, yeah, it really is. I mean, we were talking during the break about how every week we think we've seen the most exciting race of the season. Tell you what, that battle you guys had going there for second back through 6th place, that was the one to watch, man. That was really exciting stuff. You didn't fall short of the excitement level tonight.
Yeah, that's great. It takes all these good races, though. I'll tell you what, you can have a ball with good races like we have here.
Well, hey, who makes it go for the number 26 machine there, Donnie?
Hey, I guess a shout-out to my wife for letting me do this. Thanks a lot. And, of course, shout-out for the animals. Support your local animal shelters.
All right, Donnie. Well, we will see you next week at Lanier National Speedway. And Evan, I believe, is about to catch up with our winner, Phillip Temples, down there in Victory Lane.
It was a timely win for the driver of the number 19 machine. He was 4th fastest in practice, but went flag to flag in the main event. The Jack Daniels Coca-Cola number 19 machine takes home the win tonight. Phillip Temples, congratulations on your win. Big move for you guys, going from 7th and now into a top 5 spot in points. So always a great thing to be able to go up the ladder there coming to the end of the year. Congratulations once again. How'd you get that job done? Because P4, very strong in practice, but besides those late race restarts where I'm assuming Donnie Moore was giving you quite a scare, going every which way trying to find a way, this 19 looked unbeatable early on those long stretches.
Well, it's
all I worked on in practice was getting the car stable. I mean, you can run a fast lap if you want, but you got to keep the car under you, and that's all we worked on.
And it definitely paid off. At one point, the gap was 2.8 seconds. Then we saw a caution flag, and then a couple of them late. You guys working the single file restarts. That gave a benefit to your number 19, about 3-4 car lengths to the good each time down the one. And it seemed on that last stint, Donnie Moore was closer than ever there. How are you focused on at least trying to keep those eyes off of that rear view mirror and just trying to hold your line and not maybe making a mistake to open the door for the 26? How'd you maintain it there late?
Well, I just kind of focused on my marks and never looked in the mirror. You know, I figured that if he wanted around me, he was going to have to turn me, so he wasn't going to get underneath me.
You held the bottom, you ride it all the way through to the checkered flag and win the Sobo 75 for race 9 on the year. And, you know, the championship may be out of reach for you guys, but you're now moving up again, gained 2 spots tonight, so you reach that point where top 5 in points sounds a lot better than a top 10 in points. You're only 2 points still behind Matt Shanoski, so there's still an opportunity for the 19 machine to continue on this momentum that you guys are building here tonight and roll on through the rest of the year. Only 2 races to go, though. We'll be at Lanier National Speedway next Saturday night here on the Global Sim Racing channel. You confident there and maybe continuing this good run streak for the 19?
Well, we'll do the best we can, certainly, but Lanier is not one of my best tracks. Yeah, we'll give it all we got, though.
And because of the grid inversion, you're going to be somewhere around P7 or 8, depending on everybody that shows up. You'll have your work cut out for you getting into that one for sure, but you as well had it cut out for you here late. You guys capitalized. You did not, didn't make a mistake when the 26 applied the pressure, and because of that, you earned the win tonight, Philip. Again, congratulations. Anybody you want to thank down here from Victory Lane?
Well, yeah, I'd like to thank Matt and Lowell from the BRL and my wife and kids for putting up with me doing this.
All right, well, once again, congrats. Best of luck going forward. 2 races to go, and maybe we'll see that 19 back up here on the podium, if not in Victory Lane, and trying to go for that top 4 in points. Good luck next week.
Thank you very much.
So that is your winner tonight for the virtual South Boston Speedway in South Boston, Virginia. Sean, we've had quite a few exciting races, and we know Sobo's always an exciting one on the sim, but if we're going to be honest, I may not have expected Sobo to be one of the most exciting races we saw all year. But we had 5-6 cars within 1 second of each other going at it all race long, not to mention a green-white checker at the end. Incredible finish, a feel-good win for Philip Temples. And oh yeah, Donnie Moore, Matt Hoos, Ryan Nuss, all tied with 75 points for the top spot in the championship with just 2 races to go.
Well, and you could tell these guys have really settled in after a full season of running together here now. They have really settled in. What patience by every one of these guys tonight to really work that hard for so many laps without any cautions, and nobody get turned around. Nobody really lay the horn to anybody excessively. Everybody's car upright, still running, still competitive, and with a chance to win the race there at the end with really 7 cars just slugging it out. And what a fine piece of racing tonight by the bootleggers, man. I'm just really feel fortunate to be part of the call tonight. That really blew me away. With 2 races left here, Lanier could prove to be an even more exciting race. We shall see in just 1 week. Lanier just right down there by the world famous Road Atlanta, down in Brazelton, Georgia. So we're going to travel a little bit further south next week, Evan, and we're going to see another exciting race. I'm sure these guys are going to bring it, and we didn't ask any of them if they all had plans to be there, but not directly anyway. But it did sound like they will be there, and the championship is at stake. So I don't see anybody letting off. It's going to be go time here in just a week, and I have a feeling this week is going to fly by for these guys because I'm sure they all can't wait to get there and try and decide this championship.
Yeah, we're going to be headed out to Hall County next weekend on the Global Sim Racing channel for the penultimate race in this 2015 B Championship with the bootleggers. And, you talk about the Lanier National Speedway, which has been recently renamed to the Lanier Raceplex, if you want to get all fancy. This racetrack way back in the 1980s when it opened A couple of cool things about it is it opened as a dirt track, got paved a couple of years after its opening, but it's going to be another exciting one. 4 turns at 0.37 miles, kind of similar to the layout of tonight's race, but again, it's another one of the NASCAR Whelen All-American Series host tracks, and you want to give us maybe a little bit of a teaser going into that one, Sean? We got 3 guys tied for it. We thought that tonight was close with the point shakeup out of Bristol, with 3 drivers within 1 point. But, I mean, when we're all tied up, and we saw Ryan Nuss get away with one, I think, tonight. After getting in trouble, he got the caution he needed back onto the lead lap, took advantage of a couple of guys wrecking out late to get the 7th. I don't know if you want to keep laying back on a couple of those maybe mulligans at these final 2 races, because it may take going to victory lane or getting the top 3 in both of these next ones if you want a shot at it, how strong these 3 guys have been running.
Well, I'll tell you what, man, Moore and Hoos and Nuss, they were just in such good form tonight, and I just expect to see the same going into next week. And, I can't say that one was better than the other. All 3 of them just look so strong, especially Nuss. I don't want to even say especially. I mean, Nuss doing what he did to get back into a fighting chance to stay in this after having to get that lap back. I look for any one of those 3 to really do. And, we can't forget about Philip Temples. He really looked strong tonight. We said it when he won. If he could do that again, you never know how this thing could shake out. So, it's going to be an exciting week next week. I just can't wait to get to Lanier.
And because Ryan Nuss finished at the back of the top 3 in the points tonight and 7th, he'll be closer to the front when we start it all next week as opposed to the way it was tonight. However, it is done tonight for the virtual South Boston Speedway. The Sobo 75 does go to Philip Temples in a dominating performance. And you heard the drivers thank the names on the cars, thank the names, of people making it work behind the scenes. We got a lot of people that we need to thank here, too, at the Global Sim Racing channel for making what we do possible. Everybody involved with the streaming equipment, iRacing.com, Motorsport Simulations, XSplit, free and easy live streaming and recording software, the Audio Technica Corporation, as well, Media USA, for allowing us to bring our live coverage to you for all of the events we cover week in and week out. Additional thanks goes to, again, our camera sets, as always, that are provided by Dougie Beard, and our audio that is provided by Eric Ekholm and Casey Lalonde. All of their information up on your screen right now. Make sure to check them out. Let them know where you heard it and give their music a lot of support. You can stay up to date with the GSRC online at globalsimracingchannel.com or through our social media outlets at GSR Channel on Twitter or through Facebook at facebook.com/Global Sim Racing Channel. If you can't wait till next Saturday night to get some more racing action in, we got 3 things coming up before then on GSRC, Sean, and there's as well going to be equally as exciting, a lot of variety as well.
This week on the Global Sim Racing Channel, Monday, June 15th, this Monday at 9:15 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, the Autobahn Motorcar Group brings you the AMG Sports Car Challenge, Round 5 at Road Atlanta, down there in Georgia, baby. Monday night. Wednesday, June 17th, this Wednesday, 9 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, the American Sim Racing Series brings you the AMSOIL Truck Series, Round 11 from Iowa Speedway. Don't miss that, folks. That'll be a fast one. Great series, American Sim Racing Series. Been bringing it to you for a long time. Those guys are very competitive. You don't want to miss that one. And then Saturday, the return of the Continental Endurance Sports Car Series, Round 5 from Mossport. Yes, the Canadian Motorsports Park, folks. Next Saturday, June 20th at 6:05 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And then we're back here next Saturday night, 9 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. Don't miss it, folks. Lanier Raceplex, Lanier National Speedway, the Lanier National 75 coming to you. The Bootlegger Outlaw Modified Series, folks. Evan, back to you, my friend.
So Saturday is an eventful night here on the Global Sim Racing Channel. We're going to be in my neck of the woods north of the border, and then we get into my neck of the woods when it comes to some racing that we enjoy doing, and you are not going to want to miss the penultimate race in this championship. Until then, though, on behalf of the GSRC crew tonight, alongside of myself, Sean Ambrose, myself, Evan Paselko, and our director this evening, as always, Joe Peak, pushed the buttons and getting us on air tonight and doing such a good job getting all those replays up for you. We thank you so much for tuning in. Once again, a big congratulations to Philip Temples, who wins the Sobo 75. Want to wish the top three in the championship the best of luck. Until then, good night from South Boston, Virginia, and we will see you next Saturday, 9 o'clock sharp, from the Lanier National Speedway for the Lanier National 75 of the Bootleg Racing League Outlaw Modified Series, the penultimate race in the championship, and only on GSRC.